Formerly known as Anatolia, Turkey's history dates back 10,000 years, and the capital of the Byzantine, the Roman, and the Ottoman empires was the city of Istanbul. Behind us is the Boğaz Bridge, meaning Bosphorus. The Boğaz Bridge actually links the two continents of Europe and Asia. Lasting 6 centuries, the Ottoman Empire controlled Eastern Europe, Western Asia, and North Africa during the 15th century, when it reached its height of power. The Eastern and Western influences can be seen in the architecture, and the Ottoman culture still lives with all its color and pageantry throughout the country. But nowhere does it come more to life than during the Kırkpınar Oil Wrestling Festival.
Merhaba, or welcome to Edirne, a 3.5-hour car drive from Istanbul, where once a year the men come for the traditional oil wrestling competition. Now it's 5 minutes before the competition, and this is the part of the tradition where the men smack their legs and clap their hands, whereby preparing them for the wrestling match. Because of the large number of competitors, there are several weight categories, ranging from the lightweight to the heavyweight, and there's also a division for 12 to 15-year-olds. Unlike wrestling in America, however, there are no rounds or time limits imposed. These two gentlemen have been locked in the heat of battle for over 25 minutes. They're dressed in the traditional leather pants called kispet, tied around the waist and at the ankles with string. They have smeared themselves thoroughly with olive oil, and they're trying everything they can think of to get the other one on his back for at least 3 seconds. According to local legend, in 1356, Süleyman Pasa and 40 warriors on their way to Rumeli stopped and wrestled with each other on this spot. One of the pairs was unable to produce a winner, and both wrestlers died on the spot. They were buried under a fig tree, and the remaining warriors continued on their way. Years later, when the warriors visited the spot, they noticed that a spring flowed from the fig tree down to the field where the matches are held today. Since there were 40 warriors, the spot was called the Spring of 40, Kırkpınar, and it became a custom to wrestle there in memory of the two warriors on the anniversary of their death. Prizes awarded range from calves and money to goats, carpets, and kilims. The winner in the heaviest weight class is awarded a belt and named Head Warrior. But not just the biggest and strongest win. You have to know all of the techniques. You have to know the moves and the holds. It is my personal feeling that these men become very, very close during the course of the oil wrestling competition, as they have to reach down the pants to get a hold of one another. I was going to participate until my wife saw that, and then Christine said, after we have children, I can consider it. Congratulations. Good job.
Well, now I know what they mean by the saying, strong as a Turk. Well, poor Sean takes a nice Turkish bath to get rid of all of that oil. We've brought you back to Istanbul, and more specifically, to a small bit of land at the confluence of the Bosphorus, the Golden Horn, and the Marmara Sea, where stands the famous Topkapi Palace Museum.
I didn't have a lot of expectations of what to see. I didn't really know what to expect coming to Turkey, but I did know, and I had heard of Topkapi Palace, and so I had very high expectations. And walking through the gardens, the first garden, the inner garden, my expectations began to be exceeded. And then going into the rooms and seeing the world-famous dagger, absolutely exquisite dagger, dripping with jewels inlaid, and just fantastic. I was really impressed with everything, and especially the harem. We got to tour the harem, and just wondering what it must have been like for that kind of lifestyle.
Adjacent to Topkapi is the magnificent Blue Mosque, one of the 7 wonders of the world, and the Hagia Sophia, the 7th largest basilica in the world. All 3 stand atop the shores of the crystal blue waters of the Bosphorus Strait.
Christine and I are going for a cruise on the Bosphorus. Come on.
Istanbul is a very big city, and you can talk about the history a lot, but currently it's very populated and a lot of wonderful people, and you don't really get to appreciate it until you get set away from it a little bit in the water and get to look at it. So it was the first time I really felt like I was getting a good overview of the entire city of Istanbul. So it was beautiful.
And this was really fascinating because I realized that here we are on a piece of water that I could probably swim across on a good day, and it connects the European and Asian continents. So I sort of looked to my left and said, hello Europe, and looked to my right and said, hello Asia, and felt like, I felt a true appreciation for the geographic relevance of the city during the ancient times.
As the boat ride zigzags along the Asian and European sides of the strait, Christine and Sean were able to get a good glimpse of the castles and palaces of the past, such as the Dolmabahce Palace and the ornate Chiragan Palace, whose marble facades are reflected in the water below. The Chiragan Palace has been restored and is now a grand hotel with every modern convenience.